fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo! Hey there, Star Trek Fleet Command fans. Welcome back. It's finally here. This is probably, in terms of what I've been asked to make the past, 6 months, this is probably the most requested video. So we're going to talk about today camping at level 35. Oh, cool. I actually got it in the right order? That's insane. Camping at level 35, the things that I recommend that you complete, things to focus on, and hitting major objectives. Now, there's a ton of secondary objectives that you can reach, and we'll talk about a couple of those in this video. But basically, to get you ready to go into the 40s, where you see I am now currently at. For a long time, we did not really encourage a lot of people to get there. Well, 35 is a stepping stone to prepare you for that as you go to 39. 39, your final camping spot, obviously, before you go into the 40s. So to get there, you got to be prepared for it. And doing so, that's what we're going to be doing today. Talk about how to do it, what to do, and the most efficient way to go about it, at least the way that I've set up. Now, if you haven't checked out the other camping videos, I encourage you to. There's a generalized camping between 14 and 39 video. There's a camping at 29, soft camping video up to 35. There's a camping at 39 video that me and DJ, another content creator, did collectively or collaboratively. Yeah, but we did it together. Yeah, me and them. Together. Those are live long and prosperous. I don't know what you're thinking. We're going to cover level 35 today and then cover future levels in future episodes. And if you have any questions about those, drop them down below. We also got to give a really quick shout out to the first player to reach level 60. I mean, it was important enough for Scopo to announce it, so we should too. Shout out to NeoTek for reaching level 60. First one there. You're awesome. That's awesome. Pretty cool milestone. And so happy that we can celebrate it with you because, well, I mean, we are right now. And now let's go ahead and get ready to go into the video. Before that, we got to give a quick shout out to the sponsors who are supporting this video with this fantastic ad from Amazon Coins. Let's roll the footage. This video is sponsored by, oh, you thought I was going to say Raid Shadow Legends. No, it's sponsored by Amazon Coin, which allows you to save money when you spend money on games like Mafia City and some other pretty cool titles out there. And the way to get it is pretty daggum easy. And there's even a link in the description below. Next thing you need to do is, if you are an Android device, steps are pretty easy. This is a worldwide thing. America, UK, Germany, Spain, France, Australia, even down under, you can get Amazon Coins to help save you money while going through this. Step one, you're going to bind your account to a game like Mafia City to Facebook. Make sure they're bound together. Step two, you're going to download the Amazon App Store. Yes, it has its own version of the App Store that you can get on Google, or you can just click this link or the QR code, or just scan it with your phone. Number three is you're going to download the game of your choice like Mafia City directly using the Amazon App Store, and this is going to let you use those Amazon coins. Step four, you're going to make sure that your account is linked because that's kind of an important step. And then step five, when going to make a purchase, use Amazon coins to make that purchase instead of using your other pay formats, and this is how you're going to save. Now, here's what you get when you do this. Link down below, you're going to need it. You then only have to spend $400 to get $500 worth. Now, that's just an example. There's definitely smaller packs, and as you can see by this hand-in-any chart, ways you can save money. And there's a special going on right now. If you spend $500, you're only having to spend $382 to get $500 worth of coins, saving you money in these games. Get it, and shout out Amazon Coins for supporting the people. So the first thing, the very, very, very first thing I'm going to hit on today, getting your faction ship to a minimum of tier 5 or tier 6, but not really going past that. And there's a reason for it. And I was talking with Gregor, one of the other people that we do videos with all the time in terms of number crunching. And I was like, look, the main reason that I recommend getting to here, but then stopping before pushing to 39 is because this thing, whether it's the Enterprise, the D4, or the Augur, if you get to about that tier 6 range or going tier 6 to tier 9, it's going to run almost 30,000 uncommon, raw cost, not counting research. So that's something that you want to take into consideration as you're leveling. At the same time, you don't want to be underpowered by the time you get there, because one thing that you want to do at level 39 as you're working to get your ISS jelly, you kind of want to go on a grind a lot. So even if you have Pipe Moreau Chin with Chin Max, you're going to need at least a tier 5 to just make sure you're doing everything that you need to do cleanly. And there's still things that you can do with, say, a tier 5 Augur, like destroy capital stuff. Yeah, it's possible. It's all about having your research and ships where they need to be. And that's why it's so key with this. You know, if you're at 35 and you're camping at this spot, you want to make sure that you're doing things in a way that doesn't set you back. And you will really slow down your gameplay if you're at level 39 with like a tier 3 Enterprise. I've got a tier 3 Enterprise, I can tell you. It's not as effective as a maxed one, which is common sense, but at the same time, it's also not as near as effective as a tier 5. And we've talked about this about other ships at various levels, but it really feels like faction ships as a whole simply don't take off or feel like ultra faction ships until about halfway through. At tier 4, tier 5 is where you really feel like them starting to get the beef. And a lot of that is the health right over there on the side. Getting the XP inside of them is how you get that whole health, get that number up, which then gives you more survivability. Now, that's not the only ship I recommend getting up. I also recommend you getting a faction ship to a decent tier. Now, this Antares is a little bit higher than I'm necessarily recommending. Generally, I'm going to give you a faction miner and a faction warship, your epic, around the same goal, tier 5, tier 6, and that's on the screen. So I actually have my Antares at tier 7, but if you come over, I actually have a Cavort at tier 6, and I also have a Valkyries that is right here at tier 4. Having those ready to go, and you can naturally get those through grinding and through things like the away team store and other ways, of course, like the faction store. It's gotten a lot easier to procure these ships. So making sure that you have those ready to go in the future will, like I said, put you in a very, very good position. And for example, if you're curious about, well, what cargo size can I really get with that? A Cavort at tier 6. Keep in mind, this is not running a Stan build. This is going to give me cargo right at 2 million. I do have Borg Stan, so you subtract that a little bit for regular Stan if you want to. You're going to get close to 2 million in terms of cargo bay, which is something that I think everybody can use for raiding, which is a big point that we talked about in our level 29 soft camping video, getting that through. So first point, tier ships, tier 5, tier 6 ships in terms of faction miner and faction ship. Now, the other thing that you're going to want is a Franklin A. Now, I have got mine at tier 2 at 39, and really at 39, tier 1 will do everything you need to do. Tier 2 will do it very well. So if you want to go ahead and get the Franklin at tier 1, there's a reason that we're waiting for some of these upgrades, but you want to make sure you get this up and going at tier 1 because that's going to be much needed. The biotics are a great game changer. They're a great resource infusion every day to make sure that you're getting the resources that you need, especially par steel, which even though the events this month are paying out insane amounts of par steel, and they have been at every level, which is fantastic. If you're watching this, you're going to want to keep in mind that events will vary month to month. Payouts will vary month to month. But one thing that stays the same are set mechanics like biotics. So keep that in mind as you're doing your level up process. The Franklin is a must have. Remember, also, if you have a regular Franklin, it needs to be tier 9, level 41 before you scrap it to make sure you get a maxed Franklin A, or I'm sorry, not maxed, you get a Franklin A for free. The point I'm making is you don't have to max it level-wise. Every other ship we talk about scrapping, we talk about taking them to level 45 for tier 9. Well, for the Franklin, you only have to take it to level 41, saving you millions in ship XP. So make sure you do that before you scrap it so you can get your Franklin A for free. All right, now here's a big one, and this might be controversial because this is something that me and a couple other people disagreed on, and that's fine. But my third point is once you have gotten your epic ships, you've gotten your epic faction ship at level 34, you've got your faction miner, stop spending rare and epic Armada credits at level 35. Save them. Here's why. The cost for the chest will actually go up, and I would show you the rares. I can't show you my rare chest right now, but I can tell you that the max pull for the rare is 5,000 credits. Now that is probably more than you're expecting because it's over double what it is at level 35, but there's a reason that that is fine. So even though it's going to cost you 5,000 at that first chest pull, your ability to pull more is better. And we're talking about just the rare chest. Let's also talk about the epic chest. One thing that you get, a bonus, once you stop spending those at level 35, is starting at level 36 for Armada chest, the hijack ships are gone. Get rid of those things. They're terrible. They're pointless. They're a holdover for old parts of the game that no longer matter. You don't want to be collecting hijack ships. They're cool to have. They're cool skins. I have all three. They're pointless. Don't put money into them. Don't put resources into them. And honestly, you don't want to be putting faction credits into them. And if you can save for that to where you're getting ship BPs or things you actually can use or need, that's more important. I mean, I have pulled another Enterprise through Armadas, just Armada chest, when I was at level 39. So that's something that you can do, getting another epic ship for free by simply pulling. But it'd be best if you're not pulling hijack ships too, because you talk about getting pointless ships. Well, you don't need hijacks at all. At least with a Voclus. Okay, that didn't serve a purpose either. But anyway, moving on to the next point. Oh, also a reminder, you start getting ISS Jelly BPs at 36, and at level 38, you get the chance to full pull an ISS Jelly, which, yes, that's a real thing. So moving on to number 4, maxing out efficiency researches. Now, real quick, I'm going to combine 4 and 5 here because they'll just be on the screen. So let's just make this one point. But if you're in your research tree, for your level, you want to max out territory. You want to max out away teams for your level. Combat tree, yes. Galaxy tree. Some key ones that we can kind of go over in specific research videos, and then outlaw, we'll talk about that here in a second, but you want to get decently far into your outlaw tree. Now, outlaw is a big time dump, so don't focus your entire energy on it every day, but it is something that you want to be doing passively, as I am currently doing right now. But efficiency, 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 anything that says efficiency, make sure you're doing it. And here's the difference. So for example, building efficiency, which I haven't even done as high as I should have, admittedly. This will take that upgrading cost from like 5 billion to get to level 40 just for the ops building down to about 3.5 billion just in par steel. So you want to make sure you're getting building efficiency maxed out as high as can go. Pure titanium, pure dilithium. You want to continue to work on these and get these efficiencies done as you level up. These are the focuses every couple of levels. If I get a new efficiency, I want to hit it, I want to update it, I want to level it up. Same thing goes for territories. As far as you can take all of the efficient ship upgrades, efficient research, efficient construction. If it has the name efficient or pure in it, you need to be researching it and you need to be focusing in on it because it's a very, very integral part of your game. The second part I wanted to say is there are 5 primes minimum I want you to get at level 35 before moving on. At minimum, okay? There are other ones you can get, but these are the 5. Prime officers, prime ore, prime gas, prime crystal, and then prime Stella efficiency. These 5 are the top 5 I want you to get for free from scrapping ships, scrapping D3s, scrapping Mayflowers, scrapping Legionaries. If you remember, one of my goals at level 39 was to scrap 2 of each before I went to the 40s, and I did. And that means I basically got every freaking prime that I can get for free already. I got them. Got them. It's this we talked about. Now that there's 2 prime officers, which one would you pay for? You obviously want to spend money on prime 2.0, get prime 1.0 for free. And it's right here in the galaxy tree behind my head. Here's your prime crystal, prime gas, prime ore. Now there are other ones here like prime latinum and everything like that. I'm not real big on. You'll get one of these primed cloaking ones if you are going through the battle pass right now. And then the other one that I'm talking about you needing to pick up is obviously prime Stella efficiency, which is in the outlaw tree right here, prime Stella efficiency. This is an important one for you to go after. So get those 5 done for free at level 35 to help improve not only your refinery, because as awful as it is, the primes do help, but also to improve other things like helping that Stella get better, because there are a lot of nice things in the Stella tree, but as we've talked about, so far at the end of the Stella tree, it can be really painful to get through. All right, we got to keep moving on because we're taking too daggum long. Next up is unlocking and or maxing out your tri-faction lock and rogue rep. We don't have to spend too much long on that. Rogue rep doesn't necessarily need to be locked. I would recommend though that your rogue reputation be at least associate at level 35. You don't necessarily need to lock it out because it does take forever to lock out, but getting it to associate is a good idea. And if you're focusing on it every single day, it'll take you a few months to get to. And if you've been doing that already, you might have already completed this point, but it's one that I wanted to focus on here. I want to give you 2 more optional things to look at. Number 1, getting all 3 Trinity officers, Sharvanik, Marcus, Kang, to level 4, tier 4 that is, in the game, which would be an 800% mitigation bonus to your PvP combat. Now this is going to be the most important PvP officers you have the rest of the game, and that doesn't change if you're level 60 or level 30. It's the same way. So getting those up is very important. You can also use those against anything because they're not just PvP based. If you're going against a gold hostile boss that's an explorer, you're going to want a big Marcus to dump their mitigation to the floor and do more damage. So it's very important to work on that, but it's optional, but it's highly recommended. The second thing is at minimum 10 maxed rare officers. Remember, you want to get transporter patterns. And if you remember my level 29 camping video, I recommended 5. Now I'm doubling that, but there's a big argument for you having way more than 10. But 10 maxed officers with transporter patterns. There's several ways that you can work on that process, and you do not have to upgrade them all the way for that to matter. You simply have to have the maximum number of shards. So with the maximum number of shards, you're getting transporter patterns instead of new officer tokens. So even if your Spock is only tier 3, but you've got max shards for that Spock, I don't know why you wouldn't upgrade him, but let's just say you didn't, then you'll get a transporter pattern set every time you pull a Spock shard. For Spock, because he's rare, be 75 per. I recommend before we're moving into 39, you've got at least 10 maxed officers, because you're going to start relying on the transporter pattern store to get really important things that you need. Georgiou, Marcus, Kang, Sharvanik, upgrading your cons, 6 of 10. All this is very, very important and much needed as you're going into higher in the game, because officers are really the tail of this game. More so than the ships, more so than even the research. Officers make or break the game. And you want all things working, but that's definitely something you can't let slack, is those officers. So, I know this video is a little bit long, and I actually tried to cut it down a little bit, because, as I said, we can't cover literally everything that you can do at 35. But this is a bullet point, easy step through of how you can be efficient and get through it as much as possible and as quickly as possible, so you can get to 39 where the real fun camping starts, and then 40s and then 50s. And by the time you're in the 50s, they'll probably have 70s and 80s. We'll just have to wait and see. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. Looks like that. Live long and prosper. Stay safe with those Space Cowboys. And of course, I'll always welcome this. If you have questions about camping at level 35, think I forgot something, or you want to add something, comment section down below. There's a nice little box right over there that you can insert that into. Once again, thanks for watching. Appreciate your support as always. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, we'll see you on the next one. And if you didn't, we'll still see you on the next one, because you should support your content creators. Yeah.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.